Hello and welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today I'm talking about a stock for Clarus Therapeutics. It's a pharmaceutical stock. The ticker for it is Crxt. And I'm going to talk about the stock, different aspects of the stock, not just the chart itself, but also the balance sheet, cash flow, how much the institutional banks are holding for the stock, as well as what the analysts are thinking on the stock, what the value is for the stock at this point, right? What do they think the stock is going to go to? So let's talk about the company first. Again, this is a pharmaceutical company. The name of the company is Clarus Therapeutics. They have a very comprehensive pipeline. They already have one drug that is approved and marketed. It's Jotenzo treatment. It's a testosterone drug. You could go to the website and they have all the information there on the drug. And the next one up is CKD, which is for the kidney disease. And they are saying that this capsule will be available probably first half of 2023. Again, this is a long-term stock, which I'm going to come down to. So they have this new medication. This is in phase 4, and they're thinking they should be able to make it by marketed by 2023. Okay, market cap for the company is a small company right now is 30.69 million. On an average, the shares that are traded for the company about 2.7 million, but at close of Friday they done 88 million. So a lot of stocks could be bought and sold, and we'll see what happened that day, right? So 52-week range for the stock is the lowest it went is 61 cents. The highest it went was $31, excuse me. As far as the institutional holdings are concerned, institutional banks hold 17.39%. It's a good number. It's not like they only 2 or 3%. It's a good number. There's a lot of institution firms invested in the stock. Again, these pharmaceutical stocks they have, which has like pipelines, like for example, Vero recently went up like a few days ago. I made a video about it as well. That same thing, had a very comprehensive top pipeline, and they moved another phase on one of the drugs and COVID drug they're working on. And they're working on a pill that you would probably take when you're in the hospital. Let's say you already catch the virus and you could take the medication. You don't have to get a vaccine. So they're working on that, right? So they certainly took off. So this one as well has a very comprehensive pipeline. Again, their pipeline is more like other diseases, not just COVID. So as far as the institutional banks are concerned, they increased their position by 2.1 million. Only 8 of these institutional firms sold out 133,000, which again, they increased it, but there are a lot less firms selling it out. So which means they're believing somewhat in the firm that, okay, the company is going to do better. As you see, new positions, 2.1 million, sold out were only 103,000. So as far as analysts from these 4 firms, they're listed here. They think it's a strong buy. They think the average price, it could go around $6, and the highest it could get to 8, and the lowest it could get to 4. Again, these analysts, you got to take this as a grain of salt, right? You can't really go by, what they're saying here, but of course you got to do your own judgment call on the facts that you see in front of you, right? So this is the balance sheet. Everything is by thousand. So if you see 51,000, this is times 1,000, so it becomes 51 million. So the total asset they have is 51 million, 51.7 million. Total liability is 61 million. They're more, so which means that the assets they have, the liabilities are greater than assets. So your stockholder equity is negative 15 million. That's for 2021, which is a lot lower than what you had in 2020 in terms of their liability. There was 345 million, and then I believe because of the drug they came out with, must have helped them with the cash flow. So let's look at the cash flow here. Operating cash flow, which whatever operations they're having, they're not making much money on the stock, is negative 43 million. Investing is how much expenses they had, is negative 25 million. And financing cash flow is usually how much money they have raised from stocks that they're selling on New York Stock Exchange. They raised about 62 million, so they do have 26 million in hand right now as far as their cash end position is concerned. They don't have any free cash flow. Free cash flow usually is free of any debts or anything like that. It's just free, so that's why it's called free cash flow. They don't have any. They're negative. This is something that kind of I think is sort of a red flag for me, because anything above 5, 6, I think is there's a lot of there's a problem with that, because you can have a potential short squeeze when the short float is 10%, which means that you could potentially see not an organic growth, like you can see a uptrend. Generally, it's when you have a higher number for the shorts, the uptrend means that there are a lot of stocks being shorted, which means that people, investors, big companies are buying. borrowing the stock from the broker, selling it in the market because they know the stock is going to fall. And when it falls, it essentially they will buy it back and hold on to it. But the thing is, the fact of the matter is, if you understand the back end of the stock, for example, like, where their pipeline we talked about earlier. So if you see this pipeline, for example, and you go to the website and they have all this available, and you have the chart, you have the company on your watch list, and you're watching their news, for example, you can actually get away from the short sellers. You could actually play along with the short sellers, right? You could potentially buy the stocks when you see an uptrend and you already know, like, there's nothing going on with the stock. There's not moving any phases. The catalyst is not that strong for the stock to move that much. So you can actually play along with it, right? You buy the stock and you sell it. I mean, if you don't have a day trade, for example, every broker's app or, SEC rule is that you could do 3 trades per week. So, if you're using Robinhood or any of like Ruble or any other app, brokerage app you're using, you should be able to do 3 trades per week, which means that, if you see a hot play, you can actually play it. You don't have to say that I can't day trade. You can actually do it. And generally you have 3 trades to do so. You can always save them. And I would say if you are not a day trader, I would just do 3 trades per week, find a good play, and just play it. You could play it on a 1 minute or 5 minute chart. Usually 5 minutes, 30 minutes works the best. You could play it and then make quick money like that as well. But again, not a financial advice. Something that if you don't have the opportunity to do a day trade, you still got 3 trades per week. So you could always play it along with these short sellers if you need to. Now, as far as the long term is concerned, Fibonacci retracement. Stock was went as high as 61.8%, which is $1.69, and then there's a lot of selling happened. 88 million shares were. So this is a mixture of whatever was bought and sold, but because sold was probably greater, this is why you see a red candle here. As a Fibonacci retracement is concerned, RSI is stating that it's over 51. You could potentially see that on Monday when the market opens. This stock could potentially, RSI could definitely go higher. And if it started moving up, for example, right, if it crosses that 61.8%, which is $1.61, you could potentially see a $2 mark here. But again, it's a daily chart. I don't think it's going to happen over a day. It's probably going to be a week or 2 weeks before you can see that type of gain. Again, the point that I'm trying to make for this stock is add it to your watch list, watch for the stock to come out and start making its move. You already know that only thing anybody would play on the stock would be just on this pipeline. Okay, there's nothing else going on with the company right now. Okay, whatever they're selling, it's being factored into the price in the stock. Okay, so just look at this phases that they have, watch for their news, add it to your watch list, and I'll be making video again on this when I start seeing a move on it. But I would definitely request you to add it to your watch list. And start looking at the stock as the phases move. Usually what happens is when a catalyst come out for these stocks, right, with these pharmaceutical stocks, they have a comprehensive pipeline. When the catalyst breaks out, right, they move to phase 4, or let's say, for example, the person they were doing a testing on in the trial, whatever was going on, he showed no signs, or he's good. Whatever it is, if it's a bad catalyst, let's say the person who was taking the medication, got ill, the stock is going to fall tremendously. If the person who was on the trial and they showed 50% success, stock is going to rise. So this is where you want to play this stock. Don't fall in the short squeeze stuff, like where there's not much catalyst about the stock and you end up reading somewhere people are just buying a stock and you start looking at the stock and people just buying it. Most likely that would be just a short. Okay, there wouldn't be no sustainability there. Probably this what happened here. Some catalyst broke out and stock, there was time for people, short squeezed it, and eventually there was nothing to sustain the growth, right? People took out the money, like investors started taking out the money, and the price started falling. It's like a domino effect, right? For example, you hit the top, a lot of limit order kicks in. Do you see the price start dropping? A lot of retail investors or people that are not experienced, they will start selling the stock, and it will just be a domino effect from there, and then stock just fall the price again. So good stock, just like the Vero stock that went higher a few days ago, similar to that effect. You want to add this to your watch list and watch for the stock to start making its moves, and you could potentially put in your money and make some money. And again, not a financial advice. This is something that I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be adding this to my watch list and waiting for it to make a move, and I'll be making a move along with it. Again, this is my video for today. Hope you liked it. If you did like it, please do consider subscribing. If you're not subscribed, do give it a thumbs up. Keeps me motivated to bring all this information to you all as well. And I share that with my family and friends. We'll be able to make some money off of this one as well. So let's talk to you guys in the next video.